everybody. I love that music. That's Greg Billings, and we're coming up on Christmas time. I'm Kenny, and over there, Stephanie, running the board as she always does. And with us today is Matt Avery. This is the American Car Classics Radio Podcast, and we're getting ready. Matt, if you're on here, that means we're going to be talking about Mecum coming to Florida, and it's not hot outside, so that means you're coming for the big one, what I call the Super Bowl of motor auction, car auction. It's just road art auction. I mean, it's everything that you could think about under one roof. Hi, Matt.
Hey, Kenny and Stephanie, man, so good to be back with you guys. And I couldn't have said it better myself, Kenny. We are revved up. Obviously, the end of the year is coming to a close, and we're so excited to have some time with family and friends over the holidays. But you are
Yeah.
right, man. January comes and it is kickoff, to Mecum Kissimmee. And man, this year is shaping up to be another blowout. Very exciting.
I want to always go back and let the viewers know that this is a 25 plus year event. And here in Florida, we're really proud of that one. The growth with you all every year seems to be there, but there has to be a cap for this event. I mean, we're not going to, what are we 12 days?
Yeah, we'll be running Tuesday, January 6th through Sunday, January 18th. And it is just it keeps getting bigger and better. I mean, we've added more and more days in the last couple of years, and we've added more cars. Last year we eclipsed, I think we right around 4,500 cars.
25.
We don't have a final count for this year, but we'll probably cruising towards that, if not more. So pretty wild.
Yeah, it's Summer, who works for me and at Dolphin Auto and Collision, we got to come see you and everybody out there in Houston this year on our way to Las Vegas, and it was you and I only got to speak for a second, but that was Summer's first event, and I told her, hold on, you ain't seen nothing yet. Wait until you get to Kissimmee, because it just blows your socks off every time. 1 or 2 years we've had some bad weather, but for the majority of it, it's been great weather. But not only the weather, not only the cars, Matt. I want to talk about locals. Snowbirds, they get to come to this and they're a spectator. This is the world's largest car show. I mean, it's everything's for sale, but you get to peruse. There's the Dodge experience. If you want to go for a quick burnout ride, that's awesome. There's food vendors, there's everything, but it's for the locals as well, that the economy builds from it. But spectators get to come out and check out cool cars and learn about auto auctions.
Yeah, absolutely, Kenny. And as you said, I mean, obviously, people know us for more than just Kissimmee. You know, we hold auctions all around the country, all throughout the year. But you're right, we kind of take the best of what the Mecum experience is, and that's what Kissimmee is. It's at the largest scale. It's got the most days. It has the most cars. And it really is. It's all in one. And as you mentioned, it's a great opportunity to come out, even if you're not looking to buy or sell. If you just want to spectate, and obviously Orlando and Florida is known for having some world-class attractions with those theme parks and other things that you guys have, you can have that same flavor by joining us for a day by just getting a spectator pass for yourself and the family and friends, and just come out and experience it at that level. You don't have to jump right into the deep end and start bidding, although a lot of people do, just because they see that it's so accessible. But yeah, I mean, it's great to come out, again, spend the day. If you're down there escaping the cold from some other part of the country, you can get a single day ticket and just come out and take in, as you said, one of the best car shows on earth.
Well, and for the spectator to go to this, the spectator pass is a lot cheaper than a theme park, and there's still a thrill ride. Because I know you've been in the Dodge Experience, I've been in it, and it's a thrill ride, and that's a free one once you get the ticket. So it is a lot of fun to do. Do you know numbers from last January, Matt? Is that something you've got?
Oh man, not it was a lot across the board. No,
And it always.
but yeah, and this year is shaping up to be even bigger and better, Kenny. And we're just so thrilled, just to I think hold the official kickoff to the new year in terms of the car collecting space. And it's so great that so many people want to come out and enjoy it with us. And our team works so hard, really throughout the year. I mean, specifically for this event, I don't think there's a lot of downtime from when the final car sells at the end of January, there in Kissimmee, there's not a lot of downtime before our operations team is already starting to look at the next year. And so, like I said, we're just so thrilled that people want to come out and experience with us. I know we have guests come from all around the country. I know also we some have a worldwide attendance of people who come in to take in this event, and it really is the start for the year, just in terms of what's in store for the collector car space. And if you're into cars at all, it's a great place to come out. Obviously, buying and selling, but again, just to spectate, to see it all. We have a lot to do, not just the thrill ride, as you mentioned, but we also have the very popular Kids Adventure Zone. So it's great that if you have smaller car enthusiasts, stuff for them to do is there nonstop. Live music this year. I've got a lot going on. I've got some guided walking tours and some stage conversations. So there's no shortage of things to do.
And we have talked about maybe getting our team out to Mecum this year to do a podcast or two. Certainly, if I were out there and I was able to do some live stuff, I would want to talk to some of the people that were representing these collections. Matt, this year you've got some collections coming out, but one of them is it the Bachman collection?
Yeah. So
Come
this,
on,
so the Bachman,
you open the catalog and you just start drooling. Red and yellow Ferraris. It's like,
yeah, it's like
man,
it's
are you
being
nuts?
in a four-wheeled candy store, right? Especially if you like yellow. If
Yeah.
uh, yeah, the Bachman for the Bachman Ferrari collection, Kenny. Yeah, I mean it's wild. 48 for vehicles, with 46 of those being Ferraris, low production, low mileage, and obviously they had a certain taste for that yellow, and all no reserve. I mean, come on, man, what an
Oh,
insane
really?
collection. So
I love to try to compare the market to our economy, the car market. I think I can watch enough and see what's coming and selling on marketplace and things like this in groups that I see who's getting more for what models and stuff. I think the 70 Nova is really climbing the ladder, man. We've seen some spectacular sales off of that, but I think that if politicians are talking right about the economy, that towards this summer we're going to have a great foothold and the economy is just going to get really good and strong and throw right into the rest of the year. And I can't wait for summertime numbers as it gets. But I think that we're in a good economy now. I think we're a better economy now than we were last year. So I expect to see a lot. But when you go no reserve, Matt, I'm just looking down at the collection. I don't know wow. I mean, it's just wow. No
yeah.
reserve.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, and I'm sure your audience is well aware, but just for those who are listening who are not, I mean, obviously, no reserve means that the vehicles in this case are going to be leaving with a new owner. When a vehicle is consigned, a piece of road art or a motorcycle, truck, whatever it is, obviously, owner has an option to put a reserve on it. That's a price that they're hoping to get. Kenny, and so if a vehicle is marketed as no reserve, that means that the vehicle is selling for the highest price in the room, as opposed to if a vehicle does have reserve and it does not meet that when it's on the block. It still can sell through our bid goes on department, which does a lot of sales after the auction action. But yeah, I mean, that no reserve title holds a lot because people know that if they come out and if they're the last one with their hand raised, they might be going home with it. So
Well, they would be going, yeah, right. The bid goes on is something I always talk about that's unique to you all. And it really, really emphasizes the ability that this place has to bring the customer and the buyer together. The auction's fast. It's intense. I don't know if I'm bidding against somebody on a phone and I'm looking where I want to testosterone two guys in a room, Matt, you're going to get that price jacked. And I can't really see this guy. So he's not really making me. So I'm kind of just like, I don't know how deep. I can't see him poker face. Is he going to be the whole, this guy's got his wallet out, man. He's going for broke. I'll stop now. So, but when it's no reserve, if you've got that and you're putting your hand, you're taking a car. As where with the bid goes on and a reserve, you're just not sure. So as a seller, I know that this person, they have to be wealthy because the collection is that. You just have faith. You know the market. You know the value of my car. You know that people are going to want to pick these up because red and yellow. I mean, that's great if you want a sign out front that says "Stop here," but these are cars, and I don't know
Yeah.
that those are the most iconic colors of Ferrari. Well, Ferrari red, we all know that. The yellow ones, I just question about. And I've seen some collections. We had a couple years ago, we had a Corvette collection, 80 C4s, I think it was, and their average price with 8,000 miles was 12 grand, 18 grand, 20 grand. And it's like, what? IROCs are going for that with 100 grand. So it really, some people can walk away with a Ferrari for very little money. I really believe that.
Yeah, well, especially with the quantity here. I mean, I will say that with the level that these cars are at, I don't know if I would say that anyone's going to be walking away with a screaming deal just because a lot of these are very well curated. They're some of the most desirable Ferraris out there. The Enzos, the F40s, the F50s, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it also speaks to just the level of curation that has gone into this, and also just the fact that Ferrari, Kenny, as you're well aware, is a perennial blue chip from a collecting standpoint. It continues to resonate with enthusiasts. It's an aspirational purchase. And I'm really excited to see these cross the block. Now, I will say something else I think that's a little bit more up your alley is you mentioned, I know you're a Nova guy. And one of the big Novas is out of the Cliff Ernst collection, which is another stunning group of vehicles of Yankos, and that's
Oh,
certainly up my alley as a big Copo guy. But
yeah.
the Yanko 427 converted Nova that is in the Ernst collection is also expected to possibly shatter some records and reset the bar just because of the story behind that, how coming from that era of Yanko and Copo manipulation of how he was able to leverage that central office production order, but yet with the Nova not being greenlit, but with his team still doing the 427 conversion, and with this one being, fully restored. We had this vehicle, we've had it at several locations, including the muscle car in Corvette Nationals, and man, it had all kinds of attention. But that's just one of, and he's got several other L72 Iron Block 427 Yanko Camaros. Really solid stuff. I'm partially looking forward to that collection crossing the block.
I can see the smile on your face, Matt. I'm a Chevy guy. I'll say this, even though one of our restorations is a '65 Mustang convertible. I'm a Chevy guy. It's just what I grew up on, what I loved, and the Gen One Monte Carlos and the '72 Nova. Those are just, I've got a few of them, so they're sweet, and that's. But I don't think I qualify you or classify you as a Chevy guy, even though you've got books and you've done so much research on the Copos, on the Camaros, on the packages and stuff. But as a technician, you were a European guy for the most part.
I was, yeah, exclusively. I was, Kenny. You're going way back into my archives, but maybe even not quite black and white photography. But no, you're right. I got my start as a technician for Mercedes and BMW, and I mean, you're right, Kenny. That my writing projects, both of my books have been about Chevrolet performance, and particularly, obviously, my Copo book dials right into the Yanko era. But I'm glad that you see it in terms of that I'm not, because I like to embrace all automotive history, and I think that that's also something that I picked up from our good friend John Crane and just the years of working with him. Where John had several areas of expertise or areas of interest, but you would never really know that, or it would never steer a conversation that you had with him. And so I'm glad that some of that is showing through with my work, just so that people don't think, oh, Matt's only a Camaro guy or only a Copo guy, because I do have a genuine love of all things transportation, Kenny. And I love hearing whatever people's interests are. If you're into low riders, if you're into tuners, lifted trucks, bring it on. That's what
Yeah.
brings us together as enthusiasts, is sharing that love of being on the go and on the move.
I've never gone to a car show or an auto auction and seen people fight. I'll say that, unless there was a lot of alcohol involved, I have never seen them. That's a crappy car. No, it's not. I've never seen it, because we're all just happy to be there and drooling over these things. I know as a technician, but as a GM guy and classic car lover, and the word classic car, man, that's changing too. But we're not gonna scroll on that. Is that when I come up and I see a Ferrari, I see a Porsche, I see something foreign that I want to go check out, I start looking at it purely first as a technical monster. I don't work on them. So for me to get up and in and under, I know doing a timing belt service on a Ferrari is like 40 hours. And here for us, it's 4 hours. So I get in these things. I start looking at them to see if I can see how it was that these engineers came up with this, and then I'll take a step back and appreciate the art that it is. So that's my take on the foreign side of it all. It's just a lot of fun for me to. I'm such a car guy. I'm such a car nerd. When I goes out there and we start talking tech, and I want to know all that stuff. There are a lot of other collections. Matt, is there anything else that you're trying to point on this year that just gets you?
Yeah, well, not coming from a collection, but but obviously, all eyes will be on the for another Ferrari, the 250 GTO, which we also had at the Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals, and that car, has rocked the automotive world when we announced that that would be crossing the block. I think we made that news at Monterey.
Okay.
And it's another one too, Kenny, of it's at the pinnacle of collecting. It's one of the most desirable models and makes of all time. And obviously, when that crosses the block, all eyes will be watching on it. We do have a lot of other great collections, though. The Apex collection, I'm looking forward to that. That has a lot of early Shelby efforts, his 427 Cobras,
Yeah.
always another interesting facet of automotive history. And of course, for your viewers and listeners, if they want to see all the collections, you can head over to mecum.com. And I think it's also a good time to talk, Kenny, about what is a collection. When you come to Mecum auction, what exactly does that mean? And that's how our team, if a lot of our customers will bring a single vehicle, but a lot of times we have collectors and customers that have larger quantities of vehicles. Obviously,
Yeah.
collecting is a passion project, and so they will be grouped by how either a theme or by the collector. And something else that John often talked about a lot is typically when you are purchasing a vehicle or looking at purchasing a vehicle from a collection, it can indicate a lot of times that it's had a higher level perhaps of care in curation, because a lot of times these are maintained collections. So not always, but sometimes and also sometimes that can add to the story if it's coming from a well-known collector. Over the years, I know, for example, we've had Tim Wellborn come out and big time Mopar guy, and he's brought us several collections. And so again, sometimes that can help add interest or add fill in some holes about a car's backstory, is knowing that collection. And yeah, this year we've got a lot of them crossing all ranges and all makes and models. And again, I would encourage listeners and viewers to head over to mecum.com just to see them. You can click on the Kissimmee tab, and then you can clearly see all the collections.
Yeah, there's a live button to watch the live auction during the hours, but then you can go back and replay the days. If you join the page, then you get to go back later and you get to look at what sold where and when, and maybe even become. Look, I'm not an investor per se, but I love to go back in different places. I like to learn because going to different auctions. I've been to a few different states. I get to see that trucks don't just sell in Texas where you think trucks would sell, but boy, you get up to Ohio and stuff, and they really do hold a big value up in that area and stuff, the Pennsylvania stuff and all that. And so it's great to see what I learned as far as demographics for cars and stuff, because collections come in from across the country. Matt, Mecum has a transport service. I don't know if I've ever talked about that, but you go out there and you all have trucks, and you facilitate the buyer, the collectors, to get their cars in. And I'm sure that starts early. I mean, I bet you got to have 10 months, 8 months notice on that, start lining them up.
Yeah, our Mecum Auto Transport team stays busy and active, and that's another big part of the Mecum experience, Kenny, is that it's not just what happens on the block, but it's everything that surrounds it. And I know that team stays busy getting all the vehicles to and from. For customers that want to find out more, that's something that you can, again, learn at mecum.com, and you can look at Mecum Auto Transport. But there again also, it's a good source. A lot of our customers have their own methods of transportation, but for a lot of people, transporting these specialty vehicles, Kenny, it's a specialized skill, right?
Yes.
Especially as the value goes up, and you want to make sure that you entrust it to professionals. And so the team there at Mecum Auto Transport are pros in moving, whether it be a $5,000 entry level collectible all the way up to this Ferrari GTO. And the other great thing too is that Mecum Auto Transport, Mecum Finance, a lot of these great services, customers can find out more on site. So if you do have questions, obviously you can reach out to the office, you can talk
Yes.
to someone there. But when you come out to the auction, if you are wondering that, hey, I saw this car, I really like it, but I'm here on vacation from Seattle. And so you can go over to Mecum Auto Transport and find out information about getting that vehicle home and trusting that those professionals will take care of it.
Yeah, Dana and Frank Mecum, man, I just say they did this right. I mean, Dana, he was the one that started all this and did it, and Frank just kind of sat there and watched and learned. And when it was his time, he stepped out and shined. And this company is so big. As an auto shop owner, I don't have an alignment machine, and I have to send people to some other shop to get an alignment done. My worry is that they might like that person just as much and just start bringing their car there. I'd love to have that, but where I am, it's just not worth it for me to have. Frank and Dana, well, they obviously saw that it was worth to do all these extra littles to make it happen in one. Look, a lot less places for things to get lost or confused when you're just dealing with one network, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and so many great services that you can take advantage of when you come out to an auction, and you can find out more information about it as well, which is something that I like. And Kenny, you asked me about other, excuse me, some other collections, and I just wanted to call attention just because I think another Florida connection is the Johnson's Horsepowered Garage Collection. Now, this is a group selling at no reserve. It's 7 vehicles, and it's some really cool rat rods, a custom truck. But I mentioned because they are selling to benefit Operation Healing Forces, which is a Tampa-based charity that is working to support the tip of the spear, our men and women in special forces. And I had the chance, as part of some TV previews that I did with this group, I actually went to Tampa. I met with the team there at Operation Healing Forces, and they actually invited a Special Forces Army Ranger, Travis Dunn, who was critically wounded in action. And so they've been able to come alongside of him and his wife and their daughter and support them. They do it through a lot of these week or getaways to help these men and women that have had their life drastically change on the battlefield readjust and help gain confidence. And I'm so excited that this group is coming. And I know that we've got some of those folks from Operation Healing Forces coming, as well as Travis and his wife. They're coming out to the auction. But just another cool group of vehicles and people there on site. And again, I think it just speaks to how there really is just so much going on over the course of January there in Kissimmee at the auction.
So why did you go, Matt? Miko sent you there on the assignment to learn more about it, be a part of that. They wanted you to
Yeah.
be that informed. I mean, right?
Yep.
I
Yeah,
love that.
so
I love that.
so as part of my role, Kenny, in terms of helping to communicate these stories and helping to locate and spotlight the stories with all these consignments, the Johnson's Horsepower Garage Collection was one that we wanted to spotlight, and we knew that there was a story here working with that consigner. And so not only did I go to preview the vehicles, but then as part of that, I also ventured down to Tampa to meet at the office of Operation Healing Forces and meet with their team and just really help to bring that to light. It's also helpful, Kenny, because this year I'm hosting live interviews again on the Midway stage. The Real Garage Life stage is going to be there, and so also it helps me to have some background so that we're going to have Carrie Irvin. Erlin is the spokesperson for Operation Healing Force, and she'll be joining me on stage. So I will say, even some of this is part of my research and background for that, so that way, when I jump on a platform like the stage, I have some background and communicate and
Yeah.
have a little bit of understanding of. It's not just a technical,
No.
Kenny, which is what I really do enjoy about my work as one of the kind of the key storytellers here within the Mecum environment.
so many things to jump on. I love that everybody here is backing the military. American Car Classics Radio. What we do, we have one charity that we donate to every year, and that is actually run by my buddy Greg Billings that does our music for us. And I just went over last weekend to Safety Harbor, to the Harbor Bar, and he takes care of a Gold Star family, family that has lost a service member to action, and we donated to it as we do every year, and we're so proud to be able to connect with that one and do it. It means a lot to us to have a local family, a local charity, to have it and to be able to see it in play, action, and through fruition. So it's super awesome to be able to connect with the military like we do as well. I know the feeling that we get out of it, and I see by you that it's something that you're proud of, not for that the company's representing this and had good, but that you are get to be a part of this. And back on stage but you are on stage every day with Mecum Auctions, as you and Bree have Good Morning Mecum in the Morning. Is that right?
Yeah, we do. We wrapped up we wrapped up the this year's season in Kansas City, and
Yeah,
we've got a couple weeks off before we rev back up at Kissimmee, and that's going really well, Kenny. Just in terms of just we're rocking and rolling with that, and just how to see how that show has grown since we launched it a year and a
yeah.
half ago is very exciting. And for listeners and viewers who are unaware, basically the concept behind Mecum in the Morning, Kenny, was to pull back the curtain on the what goes on at an auction, because obviously a lot of our fans and viewers watch, and they, we have our TV broadcasts, and we have a lot of other, we have a great magazine, we have so much content, but we really kind of needed something, we needed a driving force to help kind of present all of the people and what goes on behind the scenes. And Mecum in the Morning just seemed like such a perfect place. Bree and I have a lot of fun, as you know, and sometimes a little silly, but we always try to keep it that way. So it's not a technical show. It's really about fun and just helping to explain and showcase the Mecum experience. And that might be interviewing and showcasing some of the great detailers that we have on site, or showcasing some of the great stories from consigners that, we just found out about. That was happened at Kansas City as we were wrapping up on Saturday. One of our great associates in the Mecum finance tipped off Alyssa, our show producer, that a gentleman was there. He had just purchased a car from his parents that had been in the wind for 30 years, and I don't even know the full story on it, but I know that Alyssa was able to get over there and capture the story, and we'll be presenting that with in our Kissimmee lineup of shows. But it's just been so great to see how that has expanded, Mecum in the Morning, and obviously it's a great way for us to connect with our fans and viewers, and
Yeah.
as I say, get them up to speed with what's in store for the auction ahead.
Well, like I said, Matt, that when the camera comes on and the streaming starts, it's fast and furious, and I mean, you're pounding cars through and all this, and the auctioneers it's hard to understand them if you don't know how to do it, but it's all so fast, and the hays are going off, and the sold stickers are going on, and then the next one's coming across the block, and you've got one on the road that you're looking at, and so it's all so fast. And be able to have this opening show that just guides you into it, it's really a great thing.
Yeah, I
What I
appreciate
do.
that because yeah, that's what we wanted is we wanted to kind of break down what it is, because we don't want people to be overwhelmed when they come out, and whether it
Your time
be
in the morning.
like like you said, Kenny, whether it be, helping someone, showing someone, hey, what do you, if I'm going to sell my car for the first time, where
Yeah,
do I stand on the auction block?
yeah.
Or hey, if I'm going to be bidding, what do I need to do? And basically it's part fun, part tutorial, all me come in the morning. But I really like it just because it allows us just again to showcase just so much of what goes on at Mecum Auctions. And again, I'm in the spotlight a lot with my role and chatting with folks like you in the media. And I'm always quick to say, even there's sometimes that I come to an auction and I can't believe just the level that some of the people behind the scenes who don't are who who our customers or fans may not know, because again they're there before the auction or after, our great operations team and other folks. And it's just so impressive how the team works as a well-oiled machine. So I'm just glad to be able to use my role to help kind of again showcase some of these people and just again get more people introduced just to the fun that we have at Mecum.
Now, without a doubt, this is a circus. It is a circus. I'm not gonna. It's what I call it because it is. And I know that your role has changed as other people's has. Scott Hook and stuff like this. That with the passing of John Kramer, it's changed a lot. He will always be called as referred to the voice of Mecum. God, so smooth and so smart. I mean, if he played jazz, I would have listened to him for hours. But he played rock and roll, and it was very cool. And I'm glad to hear that Mecum's bringing some live music back. I almost want to talk to them about bringing Greg out next year or something from with his band. But you did a podcast with John for a while. It started kind of through COVID. And you did this, and we talked once, and you said, "Yeah, we just finished this many shows." You had a lot of shows in. Where are you? What's your show count with Mecum in the morning?
Yeah, so we are going to be recording episode 73 when we come
Okay.
back to Kissimmee. And you're right, for the majority of COVID, John and I co-hosted and I produced a podcast called On the Move. And it's such a wild it's been such a wild ride, Kenny, to see how that has evolved and changed. And what I mean by that is, obviously during the COVID era, everything was kind of up in the air, and it's effectively similar to Meekum in the Morning. The decision, or there was the need was presented that we wanted an opportunity to kind of connect with our fans, just as we were temporarily offline during that initial couple of months. It was like, hey, what's a good way for us just to kind of keep our fans and followers up to date with what's going on? And so the decision was made to do a podcast. And so John and I linked up for that. And I forget the final count. We did cruise over 100 episodes of
You did.
that from from spring of 20 through I think about spring of 23. So just right around 3 years. But I remember when we were deciding on the name of that show, Kenny, and it just kind of popped into my head with how much travel John and I have been doing, which it's not nearly as much as I'm doing now, but it's obviously still a lot. And
Yeah.
I said, hey, how about On the Move? I said, I feel like that kind of speaks to what we do as a brand. We are constantly on the move. We're all around the country, and we've got so many moving parts. And it's so cool to see how I've been able to take that and kind of add to the legacy. So since the podcast, since that we backburnered that to prioritize some other projects, and then with John's passing last year, I have retained On the Move for two other projects that really are near and dear to my heart. I am a regular columnist in our Mika magazine, and I detail some of my travels. And so my column is called On the Move. And then, very exciting, Kenny, just a week and a half ago, something else that's been in the works for a long time. But so my show, called On the Move with Matt Avery, has launched. And so it's an opportunity again to kind of expand on the foundation that John and I built. And I will say, I was so touched, Kenny. I was looking at some social media posts as I was posting about On the Move, and I saw someone who actually connected, and they said something to the effect of, John would be so proud to see how On the Move has grown. And so that really means a lot to me. And I, again, On the Move and is something that I hold near and dear to my heart. I love how it's just been able to serve as a launching pad for all these great efforts within Mecum Auctions.
Yeah, it's no secret to anybody that's following me what John meant to me. I'm uber jealous of you and the intimate times that you had. Walking out to his Corvette and hearing him drive, Matt.
Yeah,
Wait, what?
yeah.
But I think that John said many times on air what his favorite color was. Do you know it?
Oh man, favorite car color, of course, right? Well,
Yes,
I know he wanted Elkhart Lake Blue for the
that's it.
Corvette. Is
That's
that
it.
okay? Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. All right.
yeah, yeah.
I know that. I mean, yeah, I can remember distinctly. He was so revved up about that C8 platform, and I know that he and I had been to Elkhart Lake, the Road America track, many times for different media events and different activities, and I know it meant a lot to him just to he was so excited for that. And the other thing too, Ken, is I was reflecting on coming up on the 1 year passing, or the
Yeah,
1 year anniversary of his passing.
yeah,
It's been a year of emotions, but I think the thing that all of us can agree is that I think obviously John would want us to keep celebrating being together around the cars. It's not just the cars, of course, because I think, of course, what John
yeah,
enjoyed most was the fact that cars
yeah.
connected him so many relationships. And that's kind of the thing that I'm reflecting on this holiday season. And as we rev up into January, is that
Yeah,
his spirit lives on, certainly within the car collecting space and obviously at Mecum auctions,
absolutely.
yeah, but on the move and Mecum in the morning and
Congratulations.
all kinds of thank you. Yeah. So listeners and viewers can find that currently at Mecum's YouTube and Facebook and likely some other of our content in the near future. Very exciting, but got a busy year ahead in 2026 of travel, not just with the auction, but also now with the show on the move also being thrown
Yeah.
into the mix. So it's a very exciting time, Kenny. I'm really
Well, I'm going to
enjoying
get
the ride.
Stephanie to ask her to send that link over and get it on ours as well. And I'm so proud and everything else. I appreciate knowing you, Matt, being able to grow with you and watch you grow with the company and everything else. We are going to run out of time here on this and we're going to lock this down. I'll be seeing you in a few weeks. We're going to grab a meal together and talk. And it's always about cars, but somewhere there's life as well. So have a happy holiday, a safe Christmas. Take care of yourself. Stay warm because I know you're up north and we'll see you within a month, huh?
Well, sounds great, Kenny. I look forward to it. Thank you to you and Stephanie. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season and Merry Christmas to you guys as well.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank
You take care.
you.
God bless. All
See you
right,
guys.
everybody. This was the American Car Classics Radio Podcast. Stephanie's going to play us out, and we'll see you real soon. Take care. All right.